Okay, and we are now recording. This is session 4 of our Rose of Westhaven Lamentations of the Flame Princess Chronicle, and we have Dennis giving us a recap of the last session. So take it away, Dennis.
Last time in Port Crawl, we saw our intrepid heroes to be fighting against a monster that they learned by their good friend Edwin, who had traveled up to buy some herbs at the local Sage Salazaar's tower. And as he got up there, he saw a young boy crawling out of a window, and a quick chase after the boy through the woods. He learned that the Royalists had forced the Sage Salazaar to make or keep this abomination.
It wasn't to make it, it was to see if he could find a way of effectively weaponizing it to be used by the Royalists.
So they delivered the abomination to him, probably one of many that they first encountered at the shipwreck. So going back to the village of Port Crawl, Edwin told this to his companions, who quickly decided to use this to their own benefit and riled up the good city folk to go on pitchforks and torches trip to the tower. Meanwhile, Will was gonna rob the church, which is what good heroes always do. So they went up there. They fought the abomination. Unfortunately, it claimed Edwin's life. Will showed up and took care of the risen zombie, Edwin, and they got back to church. They got back to the village, where they decided to lick their wounds and go search for Salazaar's daughter, Dani, which had been kidnapped by the Royalists. In no particular order. And Sasha decided that she wanted to use this incident to spin a more positive tale to make Edwin come out in a better light than the sellsword he had been. So she went back to Port Crawl a day later while they were licking their wounds and tried to sell the tale of the good hero Edwin, who defeated the foul plot of the Royalists by defeating this abomination. And that's where she is currently. The others are licking their wounds at the usual campsite down by the beach.
Okay, thank you very much. And that is indeed where we pick up this session, in the village of Porthcrawl. So we have young Sasha at the Siren's Whisper, attempting to weave this heroic tale. Now I'm going to ask, have any of the other players accompanied Sasha there, or are you all still licking your wounds at the usual camping spot? As Sasha has said, 1 day has passed, so anyone who is on less than half their hit points will have gained a hit point.
I think I would accompany Sasha if nothing better to do, and I don't like her being threatened or something, so I would just walk by her and let her speak.
Okay, that's absolutely fine. Now I'm also going to say, since you guys have agreed to rescue Salazaar's daughter, he has been able to provide you with some of the small amount of herbs that were on here, that he had in his pouches that were on him when he left his tower. Obviously his tower is pretty much burnt down to the ground. However, the application of these all heal herbs mean that you have gained an extra hit point for your healing. Okay, now Marku, have you accompanied Sasha and William back to the Siren's Whisper, or are you staying in the usual camping spot?
I would have gone back with them. Strength in numbers right now, especially if these weird creatures are wandering around, bursting out of houses.
Okay, so I'm going to assume you've taken the young boy Barden back with you as well. You will know that Salazar the Sage, because his tower has burnt down, he's currently staying at the Siren's Whisper because it's the only tavern in town, whilst he's like looking for alternate lodgings, basically. So he is about, although he's not currently in the sort of main room that you are. So as we fade in to a scene in the main room, Sasha, can you please tell your tale? Or at least the sort of tail end of your tale.
Yeah, I mean, it's more or less the details that really took place, but she's really going out of her way of every time the Royalists are mentioned, she'll frame them in the worst possible way, like with evil and wicked and wild and unholy. And every time Edwin is mentioned, she will use the opposites, the heroic, the valiant, the radiant, and all that. So she really tried to make him appear to be the big hero that came to save the town.
Okay, what's your character's charisma modifier?
Modifier. 3.
Okay, yeah, not a problem then. You, given the traumatic events that have occurred and your natural sort of finessing of the tale, you've soon gathered a huge crowd, and I mean, it's pretty much everyone in the village. In fact, if they're all holding pitchforks and torches and screaming about Royalists, it'd be just like your trip to the tower the other night. There's that many people packed in here. You can see even grumpy old Brock, who's the tavern owner, is leaning forward on his bar, sort of watching and listening eagerly to the tale, although you don't recall seeing him in the mob. He may have been there, you're not sure. You can see his wife Poppy is absent. She's sort of busying herself upstairs, and occasionally you see her running, sort of like having changed a barrel or taking some drinks about, but she's got loads of jobs, so she's not really sort of sitting down around the place. Salazar is up in his room, sort of probably traumatized by the events that occurred, not to mention the sort of fair beating that you gave him. And everyone's...
She doesn't mention that.
Yeah.
But she'll end the tale with, and let's all raise a glass for those who are no longer among us. Barkeep, I'll buy a round for the house.
Okay.
And throw a purse of coins to him.
Not a problem. There's a loud cheer as this coin purse chinks onto the counter. Oh, yeah, right you are, he says. And he starts just like pouring loads of these like wooden mugs on and putting them on top of the bar. People are just like grabbing them. Occasionally you see Poppy sort of like pushing people away from the bar and trying to like pass these mugs out and struggle through. The whole place is absolutely heaving. There's barely space to move, and you're having to jostle people. You're probably stood on like a bench or a table or something at this point.
Yeah, table, yeah.
Because obviously you're quite sort of short yourself, so you wouldn't be able to make yourself heard. Now, whilst Sasha's delivering this rousing tale, everyone's getting fairly like liquored up. There's lots of cheers as drinks are bought for them all, which seems to like do a lot more to get them cheered up and sort of cheering your tale rather than the heroic tale of Edwin Locke, unfortunately. But villagers, what are you going to do? So while that tale's going on,
but that's why we have alcohol.
Indeed. While that tale's going on, William, whereabouts in the room are you, and what are you doing?
I would stand a couple of feet behind Sasha all the time and trying to look for threats for Sasha. So someone who looks at her funny or who tries to grab her or something like that. Basically looking like the jealous brother who doesn't want anyone to have a sister.
That's absolutely fine. You don't see any obvious threats at the moment. Everyone seems to be like getting quite wrapped up with the aid of this liquor in the tale that Sasha is telling. So, Marco, looking around the room, you can see that you've got Sasha stood on this table. She's telling this story. You can see William sort of like keeping an eye on her and like looking around the room for any threats. Barden is sort of like leant forward on the table, his fancy hat perched on his head, sort of enraptured by this tale that Sasha's telling. Whereabouts are you, and what are you doing, Marco?
Marco is probably avoiding the innkeep's wife if she's about. and basically he's licking his wounds and kind of thinking, why did Edwin do that? Why was he playing the hero? He's crazy. What's happening to this town?
Okay, at this point, I'm going to ask, can you please roll me a D6, Matthew?
A D6? I can. Absolutely. Bear with me a moment.
No problems.
Any bonuses or anything?
No, it's just a D6.
Straight down the line.
Straight down the line, old school.
Yep, there you go.
Okay, no problem. As this story is being told, you're sort of looking around the room, Mark, you don't notice anything untoward. However, William, since you're like specifically on the lookout for threats, obviously to Sasha primarily, but also in general, and you've noticed, as I said, the barkeep sort of passing drinks out. William, you notice the barkeep, as he's looking around, he spots Marku sat sort of like with you guys, and he makes his way out from behind the bar with a bit of an angry look on his face, and he starts like pushing his way through the crowd towards you. Marku doesn't seem to have noticed it yet, but obviously being on the lookout for threats, potentially, you've noticed it, William.
I'm walking towards Marku and try to make a cheers with him, and while doing so, I would point with my head towards the barkeeper. Okay,
so as William makes his way over to you, Marku, he sort of like gestures with his head, and as you look up, you can see this angry, sort of balding and bearded barkeep pushing his way through the crowd towards your position. He's obviously looking at you with a very angry expression on his face.
Awesome. So Marku will give a slight nod to William and thanks, and I will try and lose myself in the crowd if I can.
Okay,
take a
that
little
is
walk outside.
Absolutely fine. At this point, I would like you to try and make me a stealth check.
A stealth check? Ooh, yeah, I could do that. Does that add my dex thingy? If I get...
No, it's just the skill as listed on your character sheet.
Oh.
That's the bad thing with skills in the system. You just get better at skills if you're a specialist.
Okay. Just straight down the line. Roll. There we go.
Okay, so you start trying to sort of like sneak your way through the crowd. However, as I've said, people are so tightly packed in here, it's very difficult. And pretty soon, Brock makes his way over towards you. And as he's not within quite like sort of striking distance yet, but he's within range to be able to like make himself heard over the shouting and the cheering of the crowd. Because it's quite noisy in here, as you might expect. You know, there's people cheering, chanting, etc. So as people start he starts making his way towards you, you suddenly hear Brock's voice shout, "Oi! I want a word with you." And he like jabs his pudgy finger in your direction.
Mark kind of looks around like, wonder who he's referring to. And I'll continue to try and get out of the way.
Okay.
I would try to help him subtly, so pushing people aside and stuff like that, so he can get out of there.
Okay, not a problem. Between the two of you, I'm going to say that you can manage to sort of get yourself out of the tavern if you wish before Brock can actually get to you.
I look up to him. What did you do?
Nothing that I can quite remember. However, when things in the town started kicking off, I wasn't alone when I woke up.
As you guys are saying this, you're literally like just outside the door, looking inside as you're talking. You can still see Brock's like trying to like push his way through the crowd to like get out after you, but it's taking him quite a lot of time because obviously people are like boozed up and they're all sort of swaggering about and crammed in there.
Do you want to talk with him? Fast. If not, come with me. And I'm trying to get some steps outside behind the house.
I'll go on a secret recon mission with William. I shall become the knight.
That's absolutely fine. Given the amount of time it's going to take Brock to get across this crowded room, you've easily got time to be away on your heels. That's not a problem at all. Where are you guys planning on heading to?
That's an excellent question.
I mean, we are near the church, but it doesn't really help if everyone else is doing something else. I think I would just hide behind a house nearby and wait until he storms in again or storms off somewhere else.
Okay, so you guys hide yourself nearby. You've got plenty of time to do that, so I'm not going to ask you to make a roll. You eventually see Brock come out of the tavern. He looks around a bit, but he can't go too far. He's got a business to run. So he looks around for a bit. After a few minutes, gives up and he stomps angrily back inside the building. However, as you two are outside, you see what appears to be a group of guards. There are 4 of them. They're all wearing your typical sort of round head style uniforms. The trousers, the dun jackets, the sort of pocked helmets. They're all carrying swords, although they're sheathed at the moment, and they're all marching in a group towards the Siren's Whisper. They appear to be coming from the southwestern portion of the town.
Okay, I'm immediately hiding my feathered hat. And everything else which looks like Royalists.
I'll do the same.
Okay, not a problem. As they...
I can't hide being an elf, but I'll hide.
Okay, so are you guys trying to like conceal your physical presence from them, or are you just trying to like hide the stuff that makes you look like a Royalist?
I think it should be sufficient just to not look like a Royalist and then get back in to say the others do the same. Say Sasha do the same. We only have Sasha left.
Okay, not a problem. So you guys can see these roundheads are marching towards the Siren's Whisper, but they're moving fairly slowly, like I say, at a march. So you duck back inside the Siren's Whisper. You can see that Sasha's just finishing up her tale and is sort of climbing down from the table. As you're climbing down, Sasha, Barden sort of like says to you, goes, "Oh, that you really told that extremely well, Miss. I know I actually was there, but the way you told it, and he sort of like almost has to wipe a tear away from the corner of his eye, and he gently puts a hand on your shoulder and he says, again, I know I've said it before, Miss, but I really am sorry about your friend."
She smiles at him with a slightly sad smile, since he had to mention Edwin. And it's best to have good memories than bad memories. And she kind of takes off his fancy hat and nuzzles his hair and puts it back on again, giving him a big smile.
He grins back at you, and it's at that point that you realise that Marco and William have obviously left and are now making their way back in. At this point, William and Marco, you sort of get to the table where Sasha and Barden are having this talk.
I'm just tipping her on the shoulder and one moment with you.
Yeah, okay.
I'm pointing outside, just slightly.
Okay. Well,
Roundheads. Big group. You should try to hide anything which looks like Royalist. Just saying.
She pulls Barden with her, then.
Should we get out? Could be trouble soon.
Yeah, she digs into her money pouch and I took the liberty of just eliminating 27 carbas. It says that a drink is 1 carba, John. So she's gonna throw the barkeep 2 silver and say, "Bring out the good stuff for these people." And she flicks them to him and as they leave through the back door.
Brock catches this money and he says, "Well, you heard the young lady. Looks like drinks all round." And everyone's like, sloshing these tankards everywhere. As they're doing that, you see the main door open and you can see these roundheads, these guards walking in. They're wearing the livery of the Harper family, who sort of like run this village basically.
She kind of hopes that people will swarm up to the bar to get the drinks and block the entrance so they can leave.
That's pretty much what happens. As soon as people are like, "Oh, there's a free drink in the offing," is there? They all sort of like surge towards the bar, almost like a wave made out of people. You can see and hear over the sort of like excited clamouring and them shouting, "Oh, mine's the next drink." You can see the roundheads. They're obviously like one of them's at the front's like waving his hand and like towards you, Sasha, and he's trying to shout something to you, but you can't hear him over all these people going, "Oh, free drink!"
So she does like this, so to indicate let's meet around the building. And as they get out of the back door, she says to Marco and Will, "You better leave. I'll see if I can see what they want."
Should I stay close, just in case?
No, I should. I mean, I'll be fine. And she pushes Bart over to them. You go with them.
You got it.
Okay, so a few moments later, Sasha, you meet around the back of the Siren's Whisper. There are these 4 guards there. You can see one of them's wearing like a strip of cloth across his left arm, which you would know to be like a rank insignia, effectively. As he sees you, he doesn't show any overt signs of hostility. His sword's still in its scabbard. A couple of his men are sort of like leaning on pikes, but they're leaning on them. They're not sort of like holding them out in a combative manner. He walks up to you and he says, "Excuse me, young lady. I've been sent by the Lord Harper to try and establish precisely what occurred at the Sage's Tower. After all, we had a mob of villagers up at the manor demanding action be taken, but we've been able to get fragmentary stories from them at most. You know what these people are like. When they get frightened, they're all thought goes out of the window. I need to get a clearer picture to report to my lord of precisely what happened. And I'm told that, from what I get from this description, that you were involved in this matter."
She adopts her little girl demeanor, and she yes, sir. Well, we were kind of since this is a troubled time, we were traveling with this soldier, Edwin, and from what I understood, he was an envoy of someone in charge somewhere. Maybe even going back to high up. He wouldn't say exactly where, but he did conduct himself with the fineries of a high status man.
I see.
And well, he found out that the Royalists has forced upon the local sage an abomination.
What do you mean by an abomination? I'd hoped to speak to Father York about this, but I'm told that he was slain in whatever occurred up at the tower.
Yes, the abomination slew him as he was trying to get the good people of Port War away from him, from this unholy thing. But I'm not sure, sir. It's and it was really big, taller than any man, and he looked like when you go down and you want to get some water or maybe wash some clothes down there by the river. There's been a battle, so there's a lot of dead people there.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like that, and it wouldn't really take to the steel, so he had to use fire to combat it.
Well, this is very troubling news. As he's saying that, one of the other guards steps up behind him and he says, "Captain McCormick, do you think this is related to those Royalists that were sighted over by the Deadwater River?" Could be, lad. Best keep an open mind, but that's not really within our purview. We're here to help protect the people of Porthcrawler. I need to make a complete report on this to Lord Harper as soon as possible. Is there anything else you can tell me, young lady?
Unfortunately, both Edwin and Father York was killed in the battle. and the tower burned down. But I can report that the abomination was killed. She looks at him, slightly confused. Maybe not killed, but destroyed.
I see. Well, we'll be sending people up to investigate what remains of the tower. You say, do you have any knowledge of the whereabouts of the sage who lived in the tower? Salazaar by name, I believe. He says he's like checking his notebook.
No. I mean, everything was so confusing up there. Pistols were being fired, people were screaming, and there was a fire in this unholy thing. So I didn't get a good glimpse of where everyone was.
Yes, we could see the columns of smoke clear from the Harper estate. As I say, we'll be sending out teams of guards to investigate and see what's left of the tower shortly. But thank you for your frankness, Miss. Will you be staying in Porthcrawl if we have any further questions for you?
We might, but we might be forced to move on now. Our benefactor has died. But
I see.
The war. And she tries to look as sad, as miserable as possible, like a poor little peasant girl who doesn't know really anything.
He put the Captain McCormick puts a hand on your shoulder and he says, yes, the war has affected all of us greatly. And as he says that, you see, almost without thinking, he sort of puts his hand instinctively up to his neck, and you see he's got a scar running behind his right ear and down his neck. And then he says, I won't take any more of your time, miss. But as I've said, there have been Royalists seen about in the area. I'd advise you to be on your guard and certainly not to travel alone, if at all possible.
Well, we certainly will, sir, and thank you for fighting them. They are wild beings.
Not at all, miss. It's part of our job. You have a pleasant evening now. And he sort of nods at you. He says, come on, boys, we'll go and inquire at the tavern and see if we can find anything more about the sage there.
Yeah, she curses. Is that the word?
Yep.
Yeah. And waits till they're gone, and Rhea meets up with her companions in crime.
When we meet again, I just look at her, ask with a questioning face, what happened?
I just wanted to know what happened, so told them what happened. More or less.
What happened?
Royalists brought an abomination in for Salazar to keep it in his tower. The tower burned down, Edwin died, we all said.
Yes.
But they did mention, not to me, but to each other, that there are some Royalists spotted near the... was it the Dead River?
Deadwater River.
Deadwater River.
Where is this?
Would I know where that is, John, being a local?
You should all have an idea where it is, so let me just switch to the sort of world map, and you'll be able to see that.
Could you focus us on... Oh, okay. Shift and left click.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so it's not super far away. Is one square like a day's journey, or...?
1 square is like a mile.
Yeah, like a mile, okay. So,
I can't see anything.
You have to... Yeah. Could you focus us on the place, John? Shift left click.
Okay, I've just tried that.
All I see is darkness.
You have to click a little or longer.
I'm not being edgy. Oops,
yes,
there we
exactly.
go.
Just scroll down.
You have to hold the left click for like a second or something.
Alright, that's cool. Good to know, thank you very much.
No problem.
I'm sure you'll probably have to remind me of that in the future as well.
No problem.
Okay, so effectively you guys are in Porthcrawl at the moment. To sort of like a mile to the northwest is the main bridge in this area over the Deadwater River.
So remember when we had to look for Danny? So clearly,
we-
there's a lot of royalists in this area, and they probably have her somewhere in maybe in a camp, or maybe it's
Probably a
exact-
keep.
They just want to keep her to control Salazar, right?
yes.
So what's the plan? Just getting in there, sneaking her out of there, or
But the plan is finding out where she is. So that's if there are royalists spotted near the Deadwater River, I think we should go and ask nicely.
We might want to think of recruiting more help as well.
should we go there by night or by day?
So we should go now, I think.
Yeah,
travel?
they could be gone if we wait too long.
Once you look at the elf, I mean, are you still dying or?
I'm much better, thanks. A few days rest really helped.
Let's try.
Thankfully, I didn't befall the same fate as Edwin and turn into something.
Should we inform Salazar?
Well, he already knows we're gonna go search for his daughter, but I don't
Fine by
think
me.
I don't think we wanna be seen by the Roundheads and him. I mean, they
Yeah,
might-
we should make take precautions so they don't see us moving out of the village.
I think I should avoid the Siren's Whisper for a little while.
Yeah, he looked pretty pissed.
I have no idea why.
Fine, whatever. Humans are weird.
But he's not a human. He's an elf.
The statement still stands.
So
I meant the barkeeper.
if it's about a mile away, we should be able to get there, right? So let's get our tent and provisions and all that, and we'll go there. And once we're closer, maybe you can scout ahead, Will.
Sure.
Just to
I
get an
would
idea.
try to wear this the breastplate I looted.
Really? I mean, it's meant for a man. You're a little boy.
If I'm not dying, don't care.
But you won't be able to move in it, man. It will cover your knees.
We did salvage the late Edward's tent, didn't we?
If you want it, just say it.
I don't want it. I mean, I'm just saying it's meant for a man.
I am a man. Or am I not?
Why would your physicality matter what clothes you wear?
Could
Okay,
we go now?
Among humans, once you get older, you get bigger. So something
we get bigger in my people too, but
something made for a big guy like Edwin might not necessarily fit a small
We
boy.
could just try instead of arguing.
Okay, fine, try it.
I wasn't angry. I was just
I'm trying.
curious.
Yeah.
Did we get a list about the stuff we get from Edwin?
Yes, I have it. We have his arquebus, his pistols, his rapier, his backpack, a water skin, a buff jacket that had zombie blood all over.
Did he have any lard? Did he have any lard? That's what we need. We need food.
Unfortunately, he didn't have any lard, but he had gunpowder.
That's why he died.
I've
No,
got.
he became lard for the zombie.
I still got a lot of rations, so don't know. I could try to put on the breastplate.
Yeah, maybe you can just take the top of the breastplate on, right? I mean,
This is one piece.
wouldn't it be two pieces so you can move?
A breastplate is definition by it is one piece.
Yeah, breastplate's just the front bit.
That's just your front. That's nothing
but
else.
there's probably a thing
Yeah.
on the back as well. Not metal necessarily.
Oh
but
yeah, that's
but-
true. Yeah,
like
that's
a
true.
leather thing going back there.
Yeah, true.
Unless
some
the
straps or
local
something.
breastplates are just like strapped on. That's a thing they did as well, but that's uncomfortable as shit.
Okay, well, as they get the breastplate out and unstrap it, she will help William try to put it on and pull the straps in as
That's fine.
close as they get.
How
And,
does it work?
What do you mean? How does it work?
Yeah, does it work? Can I wear it without?
Yes, of course you can.
Okay.
You probably look like a little tank.
How much did it? How much armor class did it increase?
It's 14 with the pikeman's armor that I had,
So
and you can wear a buff coat with that as well as other bits that I didn't have. So if you have a buff coat and a pikeman's armor, you're at 15. Plus your dex, of course.
He does have a buff coat.
I have, so I'm at 17 total.
Okay, as you guys are sorting this out, there's a light wind blowing, and it's started to rain ever so slightly.
Okay.
The weather here is beautiful.
Okay, well,
Let's
you're
go.
well, but you look like a dog, but okay.
I don't care as long as I'm better protected.
Markham is suspicious of the armor that perhaps whatever infected Edwin, could be on the armor. I don't know. If it was some kind of malady even that affected.
What do you suggest? Should I wash it? Should I burn it?
No, I
would've
already
washed it a
washed
bit.
it. I already washed it.
Okay, so if you guys are travelling to the bridge over the Deadwater River, can I ask each of you to cross one of your rations off, just for like food you'll be eating along the way?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, now some mention was made that potentially William was scouting out ahead of the
Exactly.
group. Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
Okay, now are you particularly trying to be stealthy while you're doing this, or you may be trying to use your bushcraft more to take advantage of the terrain?
Nah, I'm just stealthing. I'm trying to find some cover and walk from cover to cover, like I would everywhere.
Okay, make your stealth roll then.
Okay.
Lovely. Okay, so as you're moving up ahead of the rest of the group, you're just getting near to the bridge when on the other side of it you hear what appears to be the sound of wooden wheels rumbling over the ground. And I'm just going to change the map to show you what you see.
And I'm on the other side?
You are indeed. Now, since you've got a fairly good sort of start and they've not seen you at all, what I'm going to ask is for you to basically, I'm going to put you on a map and you can pretty much pick where you want to be.
Okay. I think I want to be somewhere here.
Okay, that's absolutely fine. I'll just drop you on the map.
Hiding behind that tree? I think it's a tree. This thing here.
Okay, so feel free to move yourself a little bit if you want. The rest of the group currently are sort of like off the top edge of the map because they're a little bit behind you. As you're watching, you can see what appears to be a couple of carts with a number of Royalists on either side of it. It's the carts you can hear rattling along the road. Each of these wooden carts, which have a sort of awning over the top of them, they're being pulled by two horses, and they're slowly rattling along the road towards the bridge across the Deadwater River. You can see each of the Royalists has a pistol at their belt, but because it's raining, they've got swords in their hands. Obviously, pistols not being a great deal of use when it's raining.
Okay.
They appear to be sort of looking around, surveying the area, but they've definitely not spotted you.
What time of day is it currently?
It's sort of early evening.
Okay. I would try to use my spy glasses and try to get a better look at the cards and see if they maybe have something interesting with them. Maybe the girl or something.
Okay, you take your spyglass out, and as you sort of like focus it on, you can see that underneath the awning on these carts, unlike most carts which are either open at the top or just have like a canvas over the top of them. These actually are more sort of built like basically prison cells on wheels. You can see they've actually got sort of like barred windows on them, and as you're sort of training your spyglass, you can peep in through the windows. You see what appeared to be in the front cart is what appears to be a man wearing a leather jerkin and just sort of like common clothes you'd expect to see. However, there's a far more striking figure in there, and at this point I would like Johannes P, if you could describe what your character Odran looks like.
So Odran is a mountain of a man. He is built like a tank. So just imagine, like I said before, we started the game, the Welsh version of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson playing Conan the Barbarian. That's the guy there. A shock of wild black hair. He looks a bit manic. He's almost seems like giddy. He's like pressing his face into the bars of his cage, and he's just wearing a long tunic and some traveling clothes, plain like the other guy in the cage, except that Odran is probably like twice his size, and it just has to like squeeze in the cage.
Okay, so that's what you notice through the window of the front cart. You can't yet see into the rear cart, William, but that's what you see. This guy who's just wearing like generic sort of like peasant or woodsman's clothes, and then this huge sort of like mountainous man with this like long hair hanging down over his face. You can just about make out that it looks like this sort of huge guy's his arms have been like manacled down to the floor of the cage, perhaps because they were worried about like his monstrous size and like the potential damage he could do if he got free. You occasionally notice one of the Royalists sort of like looking through the window, like specifically like to keep an eye on him. They don't seem that fucked about the other guy who's in that carriage, who seems to have like shrunken into the corner to try and get as far away from this like big guy as he can.
Okay. I would try not to move and wait until I can get a good look into the second card.
Okay, not a problem. After a few moments of them moving, you look into the second cart, and again you can see a couple of guys in there. They're wearing fairly sort of standard clothing you'd expect from peasants or villagers, although they do look a little bit more homespun, a little bit more homely, so perhaps they're like woodsmen or bandits or something along those lines. You're not sure.
Okay.
At this point in time, I'm going to say that the rest of you guys, would you have been waiting for like William to give you a signal, or would you have just been following a little bit behind?
Probably waiting for a signal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I would just wait. I wouldn't wait until they are out of range from me and sneak back again.
But
Just not taking a risk in any way.
on the journey up there, Sasha would have asked Barden if he can use a short bow.
He's like, yes, miss. I occasionally used to, and he sort of like lowers his voice and looks around as though he's worried he's going to get arrested. I occasionally, when food was a little bit scarce, I used to go out and hunt some of the wild game. I know I shouldn't really, it's the Lord's purview and all of that, but hungry mouths to feed.
Okay. Well, she hands him a loaded pistol and says, "Keep it dry." It's kind of like a short bow.
He sort of holds out his hand, and he's obviously expecting you to give him a bow the way you've been talking. Then you give him this pistol, and he's like, but he sort of like puffs his chest out as he realizes you've like given him this weapon, and you time to keep it dry. And he nods and like tucks it into his jerkin to try and shield it from the rain. Okay, as you're watching, William, there's suddenly a from the lead wagon, as it obviously goes over a large stone in the road that they'd not spotted, and it splinters the left wheel of the wagon. It drops down a little bit. You hear the Royalist, who you would guess from his like regalia that he's probably the one in charge. He's like, "Damn and blast it!" Then you see the men sort of run round and start sort of looking at the wheel. He's like, How long's this damn thing going to take to repair? One of the men says. I'm not sure, sir. Weather's made the ground a little bit muddy. Nothing we could have done, sir. Well, yes, and I'm sure that's exactly what Lord Shadow will want to hear when I tell him that. Are you going to be the one to give him that news, soldier? At which point the guard sort of like shrinks back and like goes a little bit pale and looks a bit scared. He's like, "Oh no, sir, no, sir. I'm sure it won't be much of a delay. We'll get some wood and we'll start working on it." At which point a couple of the guards head over and they start looking for like any wood or anything they can use to repair this. But William, you can tell from the way they're sort of moving, they're not experienced like bushmen by any means.
Yeah, but they could accidentally find me, so I try to sneak away again and try to meet with my group.
Okay, now I'm not going to make you make another sneak roll because you're quite far away. They're engaged in another task, so you can meet with the other group. So I'll just move you off there.
Okay.
So you meet a short distance away with the rest of the group. Obviously, feel free to have a conversation with them.
I found something when I'm approaching. There's a group of Royalists with 2 wagons, and it looks like a prisoner transport. One of the wheels broke, so they will take a while to move on. Most prisoners, the girl is not on the prisoners, but they may be on the way there or getting from there. I'm not sure. They have one really large guy, and they seem to really be afraid of this guy. Could be helpful.
How many Royalists?
There are 4. Did I see more than 4?
No, just 4.
4.
I mean,
And they are scattered currently, looking for stuff to repair their wheel.
we took down 4 before. I know Abomination, but that was with Edwin. So
Maybe we could surprise them, or open the cart and let the prisoners help us.
if you can get to the cart,
You just have to distract them for a bit, and the rest should be easy.
okay, I'll distract them, and you try to get the prisoners out. And Marco, since elves are kind of like you worship that demon tree and everything, so I'm guessing you're good at murdering people.
Demon tree? What are you talking about, William? William, sorry. Sasha, what are you talking about?
But isn't that what you do? I mean, that's what people say.
That's your misguided opinion.
Okay, but you can use your knives, right? I mean, I've seen you use knives.
I know how to use a knife, yes.
So here's the plan. I'm gonna pretend to be a little peasant girl stranded out here. And I'm gonna approach them. Hopefully, that will give draw their attention. And Will is gonna try to get the prisoners out.
You misunderstood me. They need to get away from the wagons.
Yeah. So if I come up across the bridge, they will approach me, right?
But not all of them. Maybe 1 or 2. You're just a girl.
Yeah. And you said 2 of them are out looking for stuff.
Are we sure the thing in the cage is not one of those creatures that we've seen?
He looked like a huge man. I'm not sure. I'm no expert in humans.
Me neither.
If they're trapped, right? Captured.
Yeah, they're captured. They were shackled and everything.
I guess we have a small percentage that they will actually help fight the Royalists. So,
The big guy looked like he was out for trouble, at least. And they were pretty afraid of him, so maybe he did something prior.
Okay, so I say, yeah, let's try to do that.
I'm not sure how to remove the shackles, though.
Well, can you? I mean,
What?
do you think they're locked?
They are shackles.
Yeah, but like locked with a lock.
I couldn't get a good enough look on this. They are shackles. How do you remove shackles? I'm not expert in this.
Well, we could use gunpowder to blast them, but I guess that will hurt him too.
Maybe they have got keys, or maybe you just have to remove a certain part of it. I'm not sure. There's a lot of stuff I don't know.
Okay, so plan B, I'll distract them, and you'll cut down the people who are out doing stuff, so at least they won't come back and stab us in the back.
Okay,
Yeah.
at this point, can I ask Johannes P, can you please roll me a d6?
It is a 4.
That's fine. Okay, so as you're sort of Odran, as you're sat inside the cart, you can see that it's taking these. You obviously know that the wheels collapsed. You've heard all this shouting. It seems to be taking these Royalist guards ages. They're obviously not craftsmen or anything like that, so that they're sort of fumbling attempts to repair this wheel are probably going to take quite some time.
Okay. I would try to look for one who's got the farthest away, and maybe I could get a drop on him with my bow.
Okay, so let me just move the guards so you can see what positions they are currently in. As they're sort of spreading out looking for suitable wood.
Tessa is going to take Will's living as he agreed with the plan.
Yeah, I do. I would try to get this guy here, if at all possible, because there are obviously someone in the way. But
yeah, that's fine. If you wish to do that, you effectively have surprise. They've not seen you, so you can make a ranged attack on him. Let me just bring up his stats.
okay, I would try to aim first, obviously, and try to hit him from behind, if possible.
Okay, that's fine. So his ranged AC is 13.
Okay, I'm looking for the cheat sheet. 1 second.
Well,
There was-
Tessa's going to strip down with her coat and
Plus
Back-
6
backpack.
on my roll. Plus 6 on my roll, so I've got an efficient plus 8. So plus 6 on top of what I'm rolling now. And plus 6. Okay, I can even point it in. 17.
Okay, that's absolutely fine. So you've hit this guy.
5 damage.
5 damage. Okay, you've almost killed this guy. However, he's not entirely dead. So as he falls to the ground, he lets out a loud scream. So describe how you shoot him from where you are.
I'm behind a pretty large bush, and I'm just getting up, taking my aim at his back, shooting my arrow right in his back, and ducking down again, pulling out another arrow.
Okay, so there's this. It hits him in the back just as he's bending over to pick up some wood, and he goes "Ah!" as he topples forward with this arrow sticking out of his back. And I've put a little red marker next to him so we can know he's nearly dead. You see the one who's nearer to the shoreline. He sort of runs to the shoreline. He's obviously looking for where the arrow came from. So at this point, I'm going to ask you to make another stealth roll because someone's actively looking for you now.
Sure. Where are the skills again? There.
Absolutely fine. You can see the guard on the other side of the riverbank. He's sort of moving up and down along it, looking, but you hunker down in the bush. He doesn't appear to have spotted you. However, we are now effectively in combat rounds, so I'm going to ask everyone to please make me an initiative roll.
Was that a D10 again? Oh.
You think you can roll on your character sheet somewhere? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I believe it should be on your character sheet.
Equipment, skills, spells. No, it's not.
Yeah, I think this is the one we always look up.
Yeah. Well, I hate to break with tradition, so let's look it up again.
Mm-hmm.
Combat, surprise, gaining a level.
Initiative, so 1d6.
Yeah, 1d6
Right.
and plus. No, it's not plus
it's just
nothing.
a straight D6.
Straight d6.
Okay, so we've got Sasha with a 4. William with a 5. Marco with a 1.
Do you want to put Barton in? Should I roll for him?
He'll go with the NPCs.
I'm still recovering, guys. I'm still not 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the NPCs are on 2, so I'll just sort those. Okay, so we have William going first.
Did someone run towards the injured guard? Because it's technically not because it's combat turns, but does it look like someone wants to assist him in any way?
You can see it looks as though this guy here is sort of heading over towards where the injured guard is.
Okay, I'm starting to aim at this guy.
Okay, that's absolutely fine.
That's all I'm doing this round. Keeping an eye.
So we then go on to Sasha. Now, Sasha, you can come in at the
I
top
should
of the
be
map.
somewhere back there. I'm just putting myself somewhere. I think there should be realistically where I am.
Okay. So, Sasha, if you can come in at any sort of point of the map where on the same edge that William's located on.
Okay. I thought we were up north, but
Yeah, I think we just got through the river and made a huge turn around so we could attack them from behind.
Okay, so what do you want to do, Sasha?
so at this point, is it clear to Sasha that they noticed the attack?
They've most definitely noticed the attack. Like I say, you can see this guy here seems to be about ready to head over and help the injured man here.
Okay. Sasha's gonna place herself here.
Well, feel free to move yourself.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah. And she's gonna ready an action to shoot the Royalist captain when he gets in.
Okay, as you're sort of moving around the back of the wagon, there's like another one of these barred windows on the back. You see like a stubble-faced sort of man with like a couple of scars on his face, sort of holding on to the bars. When he's like, "Miss, get us out of here! I'll make it worth your while, miss."
Can she see like a what are they called? The thing you use to pull?
Or like the
To open
bolts.
Yeah.
You can't see any here, however, you would know with a carriage it's more normal for like a door to be round the side.
Okay. Okay. If she has time, she will look down this side to see if the door is there.
Okay, yeah, looking down the side, you can see that about halfway down the carriage, there is a thick sort of wooden door again with one of these sort of barred windows in it, and you can see there's like a big bolt across it.
Okay, so she won't do it now. She'll keep her eye on the Royalist captain as he moves into her firing point of view.
Are you aiming or what do you exactly do?
Yeah, I'm taking an aim action if that's okay when they move.
Yeah, that's fine. You've only moved like 5 foot, so. Okay, so we're then going to move on to Odran in the front carriage. Now, obviously, Odran, you know that there's been some kind of accident. The carriage has stopped. The wheel is dipped down on your side. You also have heard this sort of scream of this guard, and you've probably recognised the telltale sign of an arrow thunking into somebody. And then there's obviously a lot of shouting and a lot of chaos has occurred.
And I'm chained to the floor.
Mm-hmm.
What's the captain doing?
you see the captain, who's been sort of keeping quite a close eye on you up until now. He appears to be like looking into the distance as though he's just seen something that has sort of unnerved him, and he appears to be getting ready to like run after it. So he's getting ready to run over here to like help this fallen guard out effectively.
Right. So what would I... Do I roll something if I want to try and... Well, there's probably like a thing on the floor, but the floor is still wood, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. So I want to try and break the boards that I'm attached to.
That's fine. This is the introduction of your character, so I'm quite willing to say you can bust yourself out of this in a suitably dramatic fashion, so feel free to narrate how that occurs.
Okay, so the captain is about to probably like drawing his rapier or whatever, and trying to see what's going on in the woods, and I pull on my chains, and the loop that I'm tied to on the floor breaks the board that is attached to, and I just put it through the bars. Are they metal? Or...
The bars are metal, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, I get pretty hefty bonuses to opening doors anyway. So I'm just gonna put the chains in my manacles through the bars and use them as basically just a rope to just pull on the bars, and the bars probably bend a bit. But the thing is that the roof and the floor where the bars are attached to, the wood starts to break. So I'm just pulling on these bars, and there's just the sound of splintering wood as I'm left with a bunch of bars in my lap, and the way out is open.
Indeed there is. So William and Sasha, from where you are, you hear this groaning of wood and this shrieking of metal from inside the front carriage, and then literally the whole sort of front right corner of this carriage just sort of like caves inwards as you see this huge silhouette of this man sort of slowly standing up with these chains sort of still around, linking wrist to wrist, as he sort of like caves in the front of the carriage. Okay, we then go on to the NPCs. The captain has sort of started running across here to go and help his friend. Then obviously there's the from behind him. He spins around, sees you silhouetted in the ruins of this carriage, and he starts to draw his weapon and sort of run back, but he's not able to get back because he's changed his mind. So that'll be his action. This guard here is like crawling towards him slowly, like, "Oh, Captain, they've got me, Captain," with like an arrow sticking out of his back. The one who was investigating the riverbank here starts to run back to help them, but then seeing you starts to sort of head in your direction. He takes his pistol out, points it towards you, Odrin, squeezes the trigger, and there's a out of his pistol. He just sort of like throws it down on the floor and draws his rapier. The one on the other side is starting to circle around. And then we go on to Marku. So, Marku, where would you like to come in on these?
Let me off the bench, boss. Let me off the bench. I'm ready to go.
Just come in from here and take him from the back.
That's certainly doable if you want to.
Like this guy up here? Can I do? I can't.
I would say this guy. Just click for 1 second on it. So.
Oh.
Okay, so I've put you there, Marku. If you want to be somewhere else along either that edge or the bottom edge, just feel free to move yourself.
Nope, that's fine.
Okay, so as you sort of come in using the trees, which are obviously your sort of natural environment, you can see, you can obviously hear the sort of caving in of this like front carriage, and you can see this royalist sort of like just drawn level with you, making his way around the carriage.
I'm gonna try and take him out as quietly as I can.
Okay, given all of the sort of like the noise that's going on at the moment, basically, if you can like take him out in a round, I'll say you've taken him out before he gets a chance to like scream.
Right. Now, I haven't done an attack in quite a while, John.
That's fine.
Is it against? Oh, it's against the.
It's against their AC, which is 13.
Which I can do from the character sheet, can I? I can do.
What? Yeah, exactly. What weapon do you want to use? Because if you could have taken an aim action before, theoretically, if you want to do a ranged attack, and he's from behind, so you would have +6.
I would have used my knife, to be honest. I would have got up quiet and.
Just saying.
I would have, yeah. So that's never gone wrong for me before.
You'd have still got, you'd have still got the bonus from like attacking from behind, though. So
yeah, that's +2.
He's a knife guy, so
I'm a knife guy, yeah.
Okay, so move your token into contact with the Royalist guard.
How do I do the attack from the character sheet?
Can you see where you have the weapons on the character sheet? There's a little D20 icon
on the right side.
So you just click that, and then you just maybe a prompt will come up, and you just add 2.
Oh yes, I got you. I'm with you now. Right.
+2 is the modifier.
Is it rolled?
Nope.
Not yet.
Come on.
Did you type in everything? The damage roll and everything?
I've typed in the blade, type, the AB, the damage. I didn't put the range in, but I don't think it's a knife.
Yeah, should be melee normally. Type.
If that's not worth it, Matthew, I'd just suggest going for the /R 1d20 plus whatever your modifier is.
Oh, that's weird. Okay, +2.
Yeah.
Whoop.
And your strength.
Plus your dexterity.
So I got 4.
Or strength, I'm not sure, and melee.
It's strength for melee.
The strength, but it doesn't matter. I mean, if he rolls so low.
I got 4.
Okay, so that's not enough to hit this guy. So as you run in, this guy sort of like, you accidentally tread on a twig as you're running in. This guard sees you, he turns around, his rapier in hand, and he shouts, "We're under attack!" As if they didn't know already. And then we move on to the next round, which is William.
Let's hit this Royalist captain. You said he turned around back to the cart, right? So he's got the back to me. Okay. I'm doing the same thing I did last round, just with the captain. Last for 2 rounds ago. +6. 14.
Okay, so that's hit him with the damage of 2. You've caused a minor wound to him. So he is injured, but he's not sort of down and out by any means. So if you want to narrate how that goes down.
Okay, I assume he has a breastplate or something?
He does.
Okay, so I assume I try to hit him and it flies towards his shoulder, and it just bounces off his shoulder and pierces a little bit there, so he has got a little bit of blood on his shoulder now. Indeed,
he curses as this arrow sort of like sticks just like shallowly in his shoulder, and he sort of pulls it out, cursing, but you can see like just like a thin rivulet of blood running down his surcoat. And then we go on to Sasha.
I'll fire at the captain. So she will pull the pistol out from under her dress, hoping that the powder has been kept dry.
Okay.
And I need to roll something? Was
You
that
do.
D20 or something?
It's D10, and it would be either a 1 or a 2, I believe, because it's damp.
5.
You're fine.
Okay, cool.
So make your attack roll.
+6 also, because... But did she get +6 because she's sideways to him? Not sure.
She wouldn't get the behind him at the moment.
Okay,
no.
so +4 for aiming.
Okay. 12? That's probably not enough.
Okay, that's just 1 short of what you'd need to hit him. So describe
6 under damage.
Describe how your shot either misses or like dings off his armor.
So she steps out from behind the cart, levels the pistol, pulls the trigger. Here's the satisfying explosion and all the smoke going off, knowing that the gun actually fired. The bullet travels into the captain, but unfortunately, it's not powerful enough to penetrate his breastplate, so it just hits him in the torso, denting it, but doesn't penetrate. And she
Okay.
curses.
Now, there is one thing other I need to do, which is I need to make a morale check for them since a firearm's been used effectively.
It's
Also,
been a while.
they got attacked by something they couldn't see.
So I'm just
It's
going
been a while because all of my stuff usually fail to fire.
That's it.
Thess has been lucky with her pistols.
I think the only time I actually fired one of my... Well, no, I shot the guy in the cave, but the second time I actually managed to fire was when I accidentally shot the priest.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dennis, I'm going to ask, can you please roll me 2d6 for their morale check? And I will tell you their morale is 8.
I rolled 7.
Okay, so they're currently okay. They hear this loud bang go off. However, since none of them have fallen down and they're obviously used to firing gunpowder weapons themselves, they're not easily scared away.
Yeah, the trained soldiers.
Indeed. So we're going to move on to Odrin.
Do I know where they put my only belonging that I had when they grabbed me, which is my walking stick / cudgel, which is also my sort of religious symbol?
You would have seen that there was effectively like a locked strongbox sort of built into the bottom of each of the carriages, and
Right.
anything that was taken from the various people they arrested was stashed in there.
Yeah. So what happens is I take one of the bars as a makeshift club
Yep.
of sorts, and I squeeze out, probably popping a few more of the bars that are already loose from my exertions before. I waddle out, and what's going on with the Royalist guard? Is the captain still coming at me, or is he now going like, what?
He's basically just reeling back a bit because a shot's just dinged off his armour and an arrow's just hit him in the shoulder. He seems to be sort of reeled back a bit, sort of a bit confused as he's being attacked from all sides. But his main focus is on you at the minute because obviously you're the nearest threat.
Yeah.
You can also see just to the north of you, one of his guards who's been running to help and has then seen you out of the cart.
Right. The captain is armed, but is his guard the one next to me? Is he? He's the one running, right?
Yeah, they're both holding rapiers.
Right. Okay. Okay. So I waddle out from the cart and I heft one of the bars. The other's just clanging, making a racket on the ground, and I'm making a fair racket myself with all the manacles.
As you're hefting it up, the guard who's running towards you from the north, sort of with his rapier out, is like, "Put that weapon down, you pagan bastard!"
Okay, I was going for the captain, and then he starts going off, and I'm preparing to swing at the captain. I stop and I turn to him. I give him a big smile, my winning smile, and then I go in for the baseball bat.
Go for it.
I don't have a bar on my character sheet, but I'll make it real quick.
We'll give you a D6 damage for it.
Yeah, it's a club.
Yeah.
Yep. D6. Okay, that should do it. And there we go.
Okay.
It's calculating the Okay, well. That's an interesting role.
Indeed. So, would you care to describe how you've most definitely hit this guy? And if you want to give him some sort of non-damaging disadvantage, like being knocked off his feet or whatever, you certainly can do. But the actual amount of damage he's taken is fairly minimal. So as he comes running in, he's like, "Put that down, you pagan bastard!" And you swing the iron bar at him. Describe what happens.
So I swing it, and it's just short enough to clip him on the nose and basically just smush it. It goes on his cheek, and he's just.
So what happens is, as he runs up, he's like, "Put that down, you pagan!" And his nose just sort of almost explodes on his face, and sort of blood sprays out. Some of it obviously spraying on yourself. It causes him to slow down. You can see him shaking his head, obviously to blink the blood out of his eyes. Okay, so we then move on to the NPCs, and I'm going to say, because that guy's clearing his face and whatever, he's not going to attack this round. However, the Royalist captain is most certainly going to attack you.
Oh man. Good luck, guy. How many hit points do you have? Oh fuck.
So I'm busy.
The healer's down.
I'm busy celebrating my awesome hit.
Yeah, so you sort of swung this guy, and you're sort of like you say, you're celebrating, you're standing up to your full height because you've been
I'm laughing.
down. Then you feel a sharp pain in your back as this captain dives in and jabs his rapier into your side, causing you 7 damage.
Oh.
The rest of you hear this loud as this huge figure just hits the deck, as this captain just with panache pulls his rapier out of his back and flicks some blood off it.
I always meet with the master swordsman. I don't know what it is. But yeah, I'm down.
He had +1 on his attack roll, so not really a master.
Well, within the narrative of the game, he's surely appeared as a master swordman. You're so unlucky, Johannes.
Okay, so
But he's not dead right away, or is he?
He's at -3, right?
Yeah.
So he's dead if we don't do anything now. Isn't that how it is?
How much time do we have?
I think I'm right on the edge of not being able to recover at all.
Yeah, he's right on the cusp of it. Basically, if he takes more damage or this scene's resolved and no one does anything to help him, he'll die.
Okay, but I'm not really in a rush here, to be honest, because I don't know him. But if we manage to get his guard out, I will, of course, heal him. Okay. Marcus' turn, right?
Indeed.
I'm all over this, guys. Right, with my mighty hit points, I'm going to take this guy down like you've never seen before with my knife.
Go on, man.
It's happening. So I basically kind of duck under his swing. I'm just trying to get up in his, get him through the jugular. It's going to happen. It's going to happen, John. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Did I hit him?
Nope.
7.
His AC is 13.
I didn't hit.
Okay. So basically what's happening at the minute is you've got your dagger out. This guy grabs hold of your arm, and the two of you are sort of wrestling backwards and forwards. Okay. We then move on to William.
In Elven culture, we don't know how to roll above a 10.
Is the Royalist captain still with his back to me?
He does indeed. He's basically just pulling his rapier out of this tall guy he's felled.
I'm trying to hit him without aiming. Let's try it. +2. And I hit him for another 4. I guess. I hope.
Okay, so what happens is this Royalist captain's pulled his rapier out of this pagan figure that he's felled, and he's just getting ready to obviously like deliver a killing blow. He's like, "That's what you get, pagan scum." And at that point, you take him out, William. So describe how, as he's just getting ready for the killing blow, you finish him off.
You said you pagan scum, and then you see an arrow coming through his mouth from behind.
Indeed, and he slumps to the floor. Okay, we then go on to Sasha. So Sasha, you've seen this like huge man mountain get felled by the captain. Then just as the Royalist captain was coming in to finish him off, an arrow shot out from almost nowhere, took him down, and he slumped to the floor like a few feet away from this pagan figure.
Yes, he's gonna drop the pistol and draw 2 other pistols, one in each hand. Can I make 2 attacks if I don't care about hitting? I just want to make I want to force them to make a fight check, a morale check.
And no, you can only make 1 attack.
Yeah, but it's not an attack roll. She just want to fire the 2 pistols to make a lot of noise and a lot of smoke.
You just want to fire like the 2 pistols into the air, effectively.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what I'll do with that is I'll say that you need to you still make 1 morale roll, but what I'll do is I'll give you a bonus of 2 to it, effectively, so it'll make it more difficult for them because you're firing like 2 pistols. Okay. So if you want to roll me a 2d6 and you get to add 2 to it, and they need to get 8 or below. Okay, so you're like smoke goes everywhere. The guards do like jump as the 2 that are still standing sort of jump. However, one of them's wrestling with Marku, one of them's crawling along the ground, and the other's like seems to be more concerned with trying to help his captain at the moment. However, you do notice, Sasha, as you're doing that the other figure who was in like the front cart appears to have taken advantage of the confusion, and he's sort of like leapt out of the cart, and he's trying to like hot-foot it away from the scene, basically, using the hole that was made by Odran.
Yeah, well, he's taking the sensible option.
Yeah, he's just like seeing all this going on, and he's like, forget this, I'm out of here.
Well, that was her action.
Okay, so we have the Royalist.
If I can move, I
Yep.
would like to run across the wagons.
Go for it.
Up here, if that's okay.
Yep, that's fine. Okay, so NPCs, we now have the guard who is fighting against Marku. So I'll make a roll for him. I'm sure it'll be fine. Marku, we all know how bad my dice rolls are when it comes to this sort of thing.
Sounds like the dentist. Don't worry, this won't hurt.
So what's your AC, Marku? Marku.
You're muted.
And it's alright, it's 14, I've just checked.
I saw
Yeah,
but no sound.
do you see the point where I read my character sheet?
Okay, so basically, this guy's trying to sort of grapple with you and like bring his rapier around to stab at you, but he can't quite get enough of a swing to like stab you. And then it is the turn of the guard who was running towards Odran, who obviously believes Odran's been dealt with. So he's moving past him, and he's going to check on his captain, and that'll be the rest of his turn. Obviously, he'll realise the captain's dead at the end of his turn, but then we move on to yourself, Marku.
I'm gonna shiv this Royalist scum. Shiv him right in the jugular. The last 2 times were just like practice rounds.
I understand.
It's gonna happen now. It's happening.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Finally.
Kill for the elf.
Okay.
Hit for the elf.
So this guy is not dead yet, but he's quite severely injured. He's like on death's door. So describe how that goes down, Marku.
So yeah, so basically he like we're grappling together. He throws me against a tree. Not very polite when you're an elf. And he's like grappling with me. He gets his rapier out, and just as he gets it out, I catch his arm against the tree with my free hand, and I just jab it into his side and rake up.
He sort of grabs you and like pulls you close as though he's trying to sort of punch you in the face or something, but you see like his eyes are starting to roll back in his head a bit, and like his face is going pale as blood's just pouring out of his side. He's obviously not got long left, but he's still just about clinging on to life. He tries to shout something, but all that comes out is like a burbled mess as blood runs over his chin. You can see he's still trying to bring his rapier up, but the strength is just not leaving his body really quickly. We then move on to William.
Taking aim at this guy.
He does have his back to you as well, because he's bent down over the captain.
I could also shoot, just because it's the last guy I'm just shooting. Try it again. Aiming is pretty helpful, but just rolling sometimes helps too. So, +2. 11 just. So, it just clings into the tree right to him, no, right to him, on his right, man. That's it.
Okay, so it does score a little bit of a shallow wound on him, but nothing to really cause him any major problems.
11 hits? 11 hits?
No, it's just for flavour.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay, so we now move on to Sasha.
Well, Sasha is kind of having flashbacks to Edwin, and since she has severe deep daddy issues, she's gonna run up to the big dude who fell down, and she saw him get stabbed by the rapier, right?
That's correct.
Can she see where all the blood is coming out?
You can indeed. He's only got a single wound.
This is probably not gonna. Yeah, she's gonna take a pistol and use the when you fire the pistol, you get the little explosion and the fire from the pan. She's gonna try to use that to stop him from bleeding out.
Okay, no problem. So move yourself up to where Audran is. Now, I'm going to say with the shock of that, effectively you have stabilised him. So the shock of that will wake you up, Audran. You are on 0 hit points, so you can't really do a great deal, but you are like no longer dying and you're conscious. You basically come around, as you can see, this like small red-headed girl sort of like fires off this like bit of powder to sort of cauterise your wound. It's quite painful, but obviously being familiar with sort of having to like do makeshift medicine, etc., you would know that it's probably just stopped you from bleeding to death.
So I sputter some like saliva and coagulated blood and just I don't make much sense right now.
However, it's now your go and you are conscious.
What are the limits within which I'm operating right now?
Basically, you can pretty much walk and talk. If you had enough time, you could probably cast a spell, but it'd take you like a long time, and any sort of interruption would like stuff your chances of casting it.
It's what you call the elf condition.
Yeah,
You're down to no hit points.
Well, since I'm feeling pretty damn bad, I'm gonna lay down and, sit next to the cart that I was in, and just like slowly, I'm trying to break the box where they stored all our stuff, so that I can get my my walking stick from there. But like, Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, not a problem. So, Sasha, as you're watching, you see this this man mountain, sort of like still spluttering a bit of blood, crawl over to like the underside of the carriage and starts like hammering on this sort of the underside of it, and you hear this like metallic clanging sound as he's doing so. And having a quick peek under there, Sasha, which you've not really seen earlier, you see there's like a metal sort of strong box fastened to the underside of it. Okay, we then go on to the NPCs. The man here has realised his captain is dead. He's going to charge you, Sasha, and have a go at you. Which he succeeds at. Okay, so that's D8 damage. Okay, if your AC's less than 18, you'll be taking 7 points of damage, Sasha.
She's not wearing a blast plate. So yeah, she's getting hit and getting down to -1. So she howls in pain as the steel penetrates her, falls down.
Okay, so William, as you're watching this, you see this sort of barbarian guy that Sasha's been helping. He sort of crawls to the carriage and he's hammering on the bottom of it. Sasha's sort of like taking shelter by the wheels of one of the carriages when this guard who's been checking his captain, obviously realises the captain's dead, leaps forward, thrusts out with his rapier, skewering Sasha on it, and as she slides off the end of the rapier, you see her eyes roll back in her head as she slumps against the side of the wagon and slides down it.
You can really see in my face that I'm shocked as hell, like someone who has a trauma, and I'm really enraged right now. So let's see what happens when I've got my turn.
Okay, no problems. So we're going to go back to the one who is fighting against you, Marco. So he's going to make an attempt to attack you. However, with his strength failing as he's almost like collapsing into the ground, he does like get his rapier like pointed at your chest, but as he sort of like moves forward with barely any strength, you just knock his arm aside almost casually. And then we come on to your go.
I'm going to finish this guy off. Push the knife right up in there.
Go for it.
This is the vengeance of the elves. Right. Come on! Oh yeah!
Yeah.
Okay, describe how you dispatch this royalist fool.
Right. So yeah, as I'm twisting the knife up against the tree, I can feel him going, and he falls down to the ground. The kind of rain sort of like. You can hear the rain sort of pattering on my hat and my back as I lean down with the knife as he goes down, and I sort of whisper to him as I pull the knife right up and out of his shoulder. You shouldn't have meddled with horses. You didn't understand.
As you say that, with the last ounce of his strength, just before you rag the knife up, he sort of like pulls you close to him, and through like the burbling of the blood running out of his mouth, you hear him say, "Lord Shadow, we'll have you all killed for that." And then you the life leaves his body and he slumps down to the floor.
I look up and I look across to my compatriots who I'm sure are having a great time. And
okay, you look up. To be honest, you can't really see anyone because like, everyone's on the other side of the wagon and William's like secreted in the woods. All you can see are a couple of dead like royalists.
And since Sasha stood on the other side, there's smoke there from all the firing of the pistols.
You can tell that lots of pistols have obviously been fired because smoke's just like drifting across the ground and there's a smell of gunpowder in the air.
Where is everyone? Right. So I'll move sort of to the middle of the wagons.
Well,
I guess.
Yeah, move yourself.
Boom, and see where I can find what's going on.
Okay, as you start moving around, you can just about make out from where you are the form of like Sasha like slumped unconscious against the side of the wagon, and you can see this royalist like drawing his rapier back, stained with Sasha's blood. He's obviously just like stabbed her.
Can I barrel roll into him, knock him over, or am I out of actions for this?
You're out of actions for this turn. However, we now go back to the top of the round, which is William. Enraged William.
I am screaming really loudly, and I'm trying to scream in a scary manner, like someone who just got mad as hell. And I'm drawing my pistol and running towards this guy, shooting at him.
Okay, take your move and make your attack.
Maybe scream like a demon.
I try to. It's pretty hard with these lungs.
That's fine. It's good flavour though. So Marco, as you're making your way around, you hear this unearthly sort of like terrifying like screech come out of the woods, and then you see William sort of like running forward, pistol drawn.
Okay. Has he still the spec to me?
Yes.
Okay. Pistol. Plus 2. And 23. I have to misfire check first, right?
Yep.
1d10. 1d10 is right, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay.
That's fine. So describe how you take down this remaining royalist.
I described how I ran at him. I just hold up my pistol, shooting at him, and once the shot is out, I'm also throwing the pistol at him.
Okay, so move yourself to where you would be at the end of your action.
I'm trying to be as close as possible because it's rough terrain. I won't be able to come close to Sasha in this round, but yeah.
Okay, so you fire your pistol, and as soon as you've launched a shot, you throw it at him. The pistol shot has hit him in the back, and he's already falling forward when the pistol hits him on the back of the head, and he falls forward and collapses onto the ground. We're effectively going to go out of initiative now, because the only Royal Guard who is still alive is this one here, and he's like on the ground like. So
just for the record, 2 kills and 1 almost kill. Just saying.
You're demons, that doesn't count.
Okay, so
too easy.
We're back in non-initiative. Odrin, you've just about managed to prise open this strongbox enough to get your cudgel out.
Mm-hmm.
Is Asher still conscious?
I tried
-1, I don't think so.
Okay.
I would try to make everything so Sasha wakes up or stops bleeding or whatever I can do.
Okay, no problems. Let me just check that.
I'll unmute myself. Can I assist in any way?
I will tell you shortly. I'm just looking it up to make sure I do it right, because obviously it's important.
I'm so used to being on the other side of this coin, you see, so
Yeah.
this is new ground for me.
That's it, exactly, man.
Soft, squishy.
I'm stronger when I fight near trees. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's the trick.
That's
You just have to bring your tree.
Okay,
The
so
forest.
you are unconscious, Sasha, but you're not like mortally injured, so you're not in danger of like dropping dead.
Okay.
But you're unconscious.
Yeah, I'm trying to stop her bleeding and whatever I can do.
Yep. So as you, I suppose we gather at the cart.
Well,
I
I
get my. Yep.
Oh, sorry. Well, I would have got a coat from one of these. I'm guessing it's a buff coat.
Yeah.
Or I can't really coat. And I'd give it to the sort of merely naked dude who I've never met before, and I'd just ask, "Can you speak?"
Oh, I'm still screaming, by the way. I didn't stop.
No, I understand that. I'm letting you do what you need to do. William's a young boy.
Are you screaming something coherent, or is it just
No, I'm just
noise?
screaming as loud as I can, and it's this demon voice, so it sounds like the guy drowning. And I'm doing this until I can no longer speak anymore.
Right.
Are there
So
other people still on the cart as well? Other prisoners?
Yeah,
In the
there's
other cart,
two
yeah.
prisoners in the second cart.
Okay.
there's probably shitting their pants with the amount of fireworks going on here.
And the
Yeah.
screaming and yeah.
Yeah, their cart is still secured, so they're sort of like they're still sort of in there. I mean, the guy who was run across the bridge, he's like long gone, but there's still two like trapped in the back cart. The front cart's pretty much wrecked.
Yeah, they need.
I'll deal with them in a second.
So, I have my cudgel, which it's a like lengthy walking stick, but it doubles as an implement of violence. It's made of wood. With the top is heavy and dense wood, and it's carved into the shape of a fish head, at least like the front of it. And so I have that in my hand, and I push William slightly because he's there to get at Sasha, and
I'm almost attacking you. Then I think I can guess that you tried to help somehow.
Mhm.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
as that's happening, William, you're just about to sort of like have a go at him, basically. When as you see this sort of like carved staff, you recognise the sort of the emblem, the carving on it, as looking very reminiscent of one of your people.
Oh, okay. I'm backing up. I'm stopping.
I offer the stranger a coat because it is raining, and
yeah, and I probably have it like here.
Yeah.
It's probably like because you were like, can
Yeah,
you
yeah.
speak? And I just like spit out just blood.
I just stop screaming and backing down.
Yeah, and it's the coat is on my back, just being there, and I'm in the mud, and I'm just gently like pushing William away from Sasha, and I have my cudgel in my hand, and I start like I redo my thing a couple of times because I bring up blood from probably like it like punctured my lung or something with the rapier, and I eventually get my ability to speak at least to a decent level, and I start sort of this sing-songy type of rhythmic. I don't know what kind of language would they speak in Farashiyar. Is it the similar language that the rest of Westhaven speaks?
It's similar because they both originated from the sort of Drumon Empire's sort of language, but they sort of diverged a bit. So it's sort of like it's heavily accented, and there will be some sort of words that were different, but it can be sort of understood by each other. It's got the same root sort of language.
Yeah, so heavily accented, I guess, like somewhat like old, like some old words that people don't really use anymore in the rest of Westhaven. And I do this little song about waves crashing on the beach and the rain coming down and the sorry, that was me, not Audrey. The rain gently sweeping across the green fields and raising the wheat up as I now pray that Lord Dagon raises this still growing child back up so that she may grow into all that she could be. And I cast my Cure Light Wounds thing on it. So there's that.
that's a person or an it.
Hmm?
That's a person or an it. Casting it on.
Mm-hmm. I'm not exactly sure if I need to do more than just roll the hit points that it restores.
No, you just need to roll 1d6 plus 1.
Yeah. Yeah, so you get 3 back.
Okay, so
Yeah, so there's the gentle glow from my cudgel, and well, you can't really see it because it's damp and shit, but there's probably like some water coming out from the fish face's eyes as that happens.
Like a clear oil kind of water, like it looks
Yeah.
it's a bit, yeah.
Yeah, fish oil.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Okay, we'll see. I'm assuming he brings her back from unconsciousness.
Mhm.
So she will The grab hits me to this. That hurt!
What did you just do to this?
Are you alright? I'm looking really shocked. I'm completely pale.
What just
And
happened?
my voice is nearly gone.
She lifts her hand with her own blood and see if it's possible grows even paler.
I take the buff coat from my back and sort of like put it on my chest and just lay down on the ground.
What hit? Did I get shot?
Stabbed, actually. It looks like.
Stabbed.
Looking at the wound.
You got stabbed by this guy, and I'm kicking him so that his jawline cracks.
Yeah, there's a loud crack as William kicks the body of this deceased royalist at his feet.
I'm gonna take a quick moment to just do a little like circumference of the area and just check all these royalists are actually dead. And they're
Okay,
creeping away.
Marku, as you get to there, you can actually see that this dude, although he's like nearly dead, he's actually still alive and he's been trying to like crawl away, but he's moving like really slowly because he's like...
Can I coup de grace him?
Yep, you can... he's got no means of like resisting you, so you can easily kill him. However, as you go to kill him, he's like, wait! And you're just killing him.
We could need information.
Yeah.
Whatever.
This is true. Not that I can hear William right now, but I have this feeling that something about the Shadow Lord that the guy said to me. So I'll sort of grab him back. I'll make sure I'll disarm him, make sure he can't do any damage, and I'll grab him by the head and I'll drag him back.
Okay, yeah. Move yourself where you want to be, and I'll stick this guy next to you.
Sorry for metagaming.
I'm going to
Fine.
be here. Yeah.
Is he dead or alive now?
I'll put him near the other prisoners, symbolically.
He's not dead, but basically, he'd need some to be any sort of threat to anyone. He'd need some like severe medical attention or a long rest.
Yeah, I've had one of those.
Alright, Sasha gets up on
I will alert people to the fact that I found one that's not dead. The one I dealt with is definitely
he has
dead.
one of my arrows in his back, just saying.
And she'll drag herself up. Oh, this is so painful. I
look positively chipper in comparison.
Whenever you look in pain, I'm also looking like I'm in pain.
this armor is useless. She tears at the buff.
You are taking the breastplate from now on. Do you got me?
Yeah.
It's probably gonna hurt more, to be honest, to put that on
Yeah.
right now.
Okay. Are we all alive?
This guy saved you, and I pointed him.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm laying on the ground and just sort of looking back and forth as you talk.
John, I will offer the stranger one of my rations if he wants some food. It's the least I can do if you seem to have saved my friend.
Okay, Marku, just as you're about to like leave your current position and go over, an arm comes out of the window on the carriage that you're stood next to, basically goes sort of locks around your neck, and you hear a voice from inside the carriage go, "Tell your friends to get us out of this carriage or I'll break your neck."
If you hurt me, you will not leave this place. If we'd any intentions of leaving you in that cage, why would we have killed these guards? Let me go.
At which point, as you say that, and he pauses for a few moments, like his arm sort of tightening around your neck. Then he obviously realises the truth of what you're saying, and he releases you, and the arm sort of snakes back into the carriage.
See that you alert me if this man tries to escape, and you will be released soon. And I will offer our new friend some food.
Okay,
and
move yourself
I
over.
found.
Tasha will nod to Audron and say thank you, but in a low, painful voice, and she will go over here.
And stop that guy downstairs.
So what is your ration?
It's an iron ration. Unfortunately, it's not something. I haven't got really a lot of sexy food.
Iron ration is the sexy food.
Iron
ration-
ration is
The rubbish
is
stuff.
that hardtack or what is
Yeah,
that?
pretty much like hardtack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Iron is
Yes.
the stuff that keeps forever.
Mm.
Yeah, that's the bad stuff which just doesn't go sour. That's all.
Yeah. So my hands just snake up as you hand me the ration, and I do this to the iron ration and just stuff it down my.
When I see this, I seem like I realize something, and then I put down my backpack and looking into it, I would pull out a couple of weird amulets with fish people on it and would throw it at before Audran. How many?
So you give it to me, or
I'd give it to you, just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
an offering or something.
So I'm reaching for the amulets to look at them.
Okay, you look at these golden amulets, and they're very small. They're only sort of like less than the size of a fist, and they show what appears to be a combination of squid and man with a sort of like human-like face. You recognise it instantly as quite an old sort of depiction of your patron deity, Dagon. You know that obviously before the Church of Westhaven and the Druman Empire and stuff like that, the cult of Dagon and the various other pagan Farseer gods was sort of widespread amongst these lands before they were forced back. So they're only really worshipped in Farseer now. But it's not impossible that stuff like this could be around from like ages ago.
I give you 7 of them, and then I bow down. You saved her. What else do you want?
So I look at them, like my massive brows is furrowed, as I'm like piecing it together. Like, you guys, you attacked the Royalists who worship the new god, which I don't really like, and then do you also keep the old ways?
I'm with the old.
I just roll my eyes like their old ways, not the same as my old ways.
Yeah, it's just like I'm 200.
I'm
years
gonna
old.
get.
I'm just would say I am with Karnak, and that's basically a name for an old demon.
Mm-hmm. I give a grave nod to William, and I clutch the amulets to my chest, and I like prop myself up from the ground, and I take a look at Sasha and smile big as she's being active and actually doing pretty well. And I look to Marco and nod to him as well. I thank you for your kindness. I haven't had much of this on this side of the border. We are across the border, yes.
Do you know where you were being taken?
No. They told me that I would be burned.
Oh, well, perhaps we can find out. I found one of them still alive.
Speaking of which, Sasha, you've already gone over to like the Royalist who's like still alive.
Yeah, she's limping over there, with the blood running down her leg, being washed away in the rain. And she looked at him, pained, and I'm guessing he's not in a better condition than
No, he looks far worse than you do at the moment.
Yeah.
He looks like a strong wind would finish him off, basically.
She kind of goes down on her knees in the mud next to him and fumbles after her knife. So, you're taking these prisoners somewhere.
That's right. We had orders to take them to the outpost north of here.
Where's how far away?
It's a good few miles down the pass by cart.
Are you a man of conviction or coin?
He looks at you, and you briefly see like a sort of flash of anger in his eyes, although it's obviously quickly replaced by pain and weariness. And he's like, I am a loyal subject of the Queen, who has been given the right to rule by our Lord God Almighty.
She nods and kind of leans against the cart as she pulls herself up. Do you know if they took a foreigner there? She's dark-skinned. A dark hair.
Yes, I think there was a woman like that. Her clothing was not of the local cut. Yes, I think they took it to the outpost. We made camp amongst some old ruins on the edge of the forest to the north of here.
And would Lord Shadow be there?
He laughs, and a little bit of blood comes out of his mouth. He says, Lord Shadow doesn't directly get involved with things like this. He has agents for this sort of thing. You should think yourself lucky you only ran into us instead of some of his agents.
She nods. William, he calls out.
Yes, Sasha. I'm standing right up and running towards her.
She says there's an outpost north of here. How many miles? And she looks at him.
I couldn't tell you the exact amount, but it's not far. If you stick to the trails.
So within a day?
If you pushed it, you could probably make it in a day on foot.
We've got horses now.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have anything to ask him?
How do you want to die? So I cannot give it you.
I take Sasha to one side just for a second and whisper, should we ask about the daughter?
Yes, he seems to be in the outpost.
Right, I missed. Perhaps we should let these other prisoners decide what to do with him.
In response to your question, William, the injured royalist says, it doesn't matter what I want. I'm not long for this world. Soon I will be with my Lord God. He knows the rightness of my cause.
Not when I'm drowning you. Then we will join the army of my master.
He tries to laugh and trails off into a broken, racking cough and says, Your blasphemous demon gods are no match for the one true God.
As you can see, he is. And I'm pointing at the other dead colleagues.
Do what you want with this body, but we will dwell in paradise forever.
Can I be? Because I can move around, right?
Yeah, you're fine.
Very slowly though, but like not running. So I want to be ambling towards this conversation, leaning heavily on my cudgel for support.
Okay. Any of you who are sort of in conversation with the Royalist Guard, move your tokens around them.
Okay.
Marco just like jumps on William's back.
Whoa!
Yeah,
not again.
So I'm ambling there, just leaning on my cudgel, and I have the buff coat sort of like a poncho on me, and I tap William on the shoulder, and I gestured to the Royalist, and I go, I can. If we wait until tomorrow, I can give him the gift of life that he would not give us.
Well, if you know something to do to him, be my guest.
No,
I just want him to die as the pick he is.
We can't use him. I mean, if he had been a mercenary, we could have bought his service, but he's a man of conviction. So, fuck him and his queen. And she gets up and spits a bloody gob in his forehead.
You spit this blood on his face. He tries to say something, but it just comes out as like gargled coughing.
Just whatever, drown him, spit him. I don't care. And she moves over to the door on the cart.
I'm looking to Audrin. I give you him. If you want him, take him.
Okay. I plop myself down next to the Royalists, and I lean towards him and I go, "Do you want to live?"
He coughs and he's like, "What kind of stupid question is that, you pagan devil?"
And I sort of look like genuinely confused. I don't know. You seem very eager to die. To go to this new god of yours. I don't. It was an honest question, man.
If it is the Lord's will that I die here today, then that is the Lord's will.
I didn't ask about the Lord's will, and I shake him a bit. Do you want to live?
It's a tough sell. Do you want healing or not?
Of course. Of course I want to live. I want to go home to my family and continue serving my queen. Of course I do.
Very well. Let's see your wounds then. And I set about sort of doing what I can with what we have, just like wiping his wounds clean and that sort of thing, to make sure that he doesn't just drop dead.
I think that the most immediate thing would be removing the arrow from his back.
Yeah, you stabilize him. That's not a problem.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
And I stash him into like the cart.
Okay, the rear cart.
Yeah, actually, yeah. So, what was the plan with the guys inside? Did you set them free?
No, he's about to. So, you guys,
okay.
We'll let you go. Will you not tell anyone about this?
One of them says, well, yeah, if you like.
You go your way, we go our way.
Yeah, sounds good to us.
Right. She opens the door.
Okay.
Get out of here.
You open the door, they jump out. One of them looks at you and he says, well, whoever you are, thanks very much. And at which point they start sort of heading off.
After that, she'll lumber around and pick up the guns. Probably in the mud.
I would also start looting and recovering many of my arrows as I can.
Yeah, there's 3 buff coats. There's a breastplate. There's 3 rapiers and 3 pistols.
I could make I could carry like 10 pistols right now.
3 buff coats.
I'll ask our massive new friend. Are any of these good to you? You seem different from most humans I've met.
I would say at this point, Marco, since you can see Audrin, you are in no doubt that he's one of like the human tribes from like Fardasiar, which is obviously where your people live as well.
Oh, alright, okay, no problem.
So you
couldn't see it in the rain. Yeah, it was busy
you break out the old dialects.
So it's 4 rapiers and 4 pistols. So what did you say, John?
4 rapiers, 4 pistols, a similar number of buff coats and a breastplate.
How much gunpowder and bullets?
They each have 3 shots of powder and an appropriate number of bullets.
Yeah, I would like to reload by mine.
It's fine.
So having like 3 for each of my pistols would be nice.
Yeah, sure.
Yep, we can stash a lot of this into the carts.
Yeah, we have carts now and 4 horses.
Are we taking the carts with us?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Yeah.
That's like the best thing that could happen. We can transport much more stuff, and we could use the horses to flee if we need to.
Okay.
Yeah. So I take a look at the breastplate. Is there any chance we can jury rig the breastplate to work on me?
Yeah,
just bend it outside.
Yeah, that's fine.
2 of them and just make a.
Yeah.
It fits me, so it fits you too.
Yeah, that's
so.
fine. You're of although you're big, you're of human proportions. And it's made to fit a human.
Yep.
And while you're doing that as well, you also like hook up the other 2 horses to the cart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I broke the other one pretty badly.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't use the breastplate right now because I'm messed up, but yeah, I lay it aside for later.
Yeah, Sasha will get Will to help getting all the backpacks they stored out in the behind the trees into the cart, and she'll go out and see if she can find Barton and drag him back. So they're ready.
Yeah,
Try to lay low a little bit, Sasha, and would even try to hug her for some weird reason. Because he's still shivering a little bit. He's still under a lot of stress.
Okay.
Just recovering.
Well, she smiles and hugs him back.
Don't do this to me again.
Well, I thought the armor would help, but it helped absolutely nothing.
Take the breastplate, please.
So, what is your name? She looks at Odrin.
I'm Odrin. I'm from Badashar over the border, and as bright youngsters and an elf, you have probably connected that they were going to burn me for being a witch, whatever that is, and
You can see Excessive kind of twitches when you mention witch.
A witch is pretty much everything they don't know. Everything which is not a demon.
I wouldn't know about that, but well, that is it, and
The only thing you would know about demons, Odrin, is that when your sort of faith was pushed out of these lands by like the new church, one of the ways they did this, the Church of Westhaven, was they essentially went, right, anything that's worshipped that isn't our god isn't a god, actually, it's just a demon.
Yep.
Okay. Well, obviously we didn't attack.
I saw. Sorry, you go.
Just go. Well, my name is Sasha, and this is my. She looks at Will. My brother Will, and this elf is called Mario something. He's an elf, and this is Bart. Yeah.
Please, Sasha.
And this is Barton. He's kind of my princess.
The young lad, with his sort of black bowl-cut hair, looks up at you a little bit in awe of this like mountain of like muscle in front of him, and he says, "Well, pleased to meet you, sir."
I saw your coming in the rain the previous night.
Oh. Well, As you probably guess, we didn't attack the caravan just for the fun of it.
No, everything is as Dagon wills it, and I am happy that you are here. Small though you may be, and I now starting to realize that your children is a gang of kids.
Kids and an elf. Yeah, that's right.
The stories are true. I kidnapped them all.
This stringiest rescue party ever.
Doesn't really matter if you're a kid or an adult. Just when you die, you die.
This is true. This is true. Good. Now that you are here, we can proceed with. Why are you here? Why did you come this way instead of not?
Well, we are here to rescue someone called Dani.
Mhm.
And as so many of us, she's also a foreigner to this land, and they have taken her to force her father into doing their bidding. So we promised we would rescue her. That's where we're going now. Oh, where we were going.
These followers of the new god
Yes, the
you were
Royalists.
talking about.
Yes.
Mm.
So I mean, if the rain tells you to help us, we would appreciate it.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. But I want you. I want to help you now. So we shall do that first, and then there are other things that Dagon wants from all of us. I look at all of you pretty like I start to get into my manic phase, so just like big saucer eyes.
Okay.
Is it better now, John?
Should we
I'm still getting it a little bit, but it's fine.
should we end it now? Because time is up almost.
What I'm going to do is I'll do the setup for the sort of next scene, if you will, and then we can sort of pick up straight away next time. So I'm assuming that you guys are going to sort of follow the directions that you've been given by the injured royalist.
Yes. You might be forced to take a day's rest or something in the wilderness just to not be
Heal a bit and get
Yeah.
the healing spell from our new cleric, and yeah.
Okay, that's absolutely fine. So you guys are sort of here at the bridge at the minute. If I can click on it without moving it, that'll be great.
You should maybe use the map layer a little more.
Yeah, you're probably right. There we go. Okay, so you guys are at the bridge. And you carry on for about 2 miles, heading northwards. You start moving into forest. And as you get to about here, you start coming across broken bits of masonry, as though there was once something here. You can see like the ruins of what must have once been some sort of old building. However, these bits of masonry you come across, they're not sort of stone ruins as you'd expect them to be. They actually appear to be the remnants of a wooden building, and it's quite strange as you start sort of encountering them. You can see that where these like broken bits of wood are emerging from the ground, it's almost as though rather than being built here, they've actually grown here. You can see they have roots that run down into the ground. Now, Marku, you would recognise this as a sign that whatever structure used to be here was probably built by your people.
But is the structure still standing?
No, it's just like broken bits of like
Ruins.
ruins.
Okay.
However, at this point, you can make me a D6 roll, Marku, for your architecture, which I'm guessing is 1.
It would be my absolute pleasure, John. Do I get any bonuses for being an elf?
Yeah, do you know what? I'll give you a +1 bonus if you get a 1 or a 2.
Yeah! I did not.
Okay, so you don't get anything like super special from it. However, you are in no doubt that...
No, wait.
That's not how skills work.
Yeah, it's a 2 if it's a bonus, because you're rolling for ones, right?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
roll a
exactly.
d6, and a 1 is a success, and then if you have a skill rating in it, then a 2 might be a success, or 3 might be a success. So when John says he gives you a bonus, then that means a 1 and a 2 is a success on a d6 roll, not a d6 +1 roll.
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So it would have been I would have succeeded on a 2, is that what you're saying?
1 or 2.
Yeah.
1 or 2.
Okay.
Just for future. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, however, like I say, you don't get anything super special from it, but you're in no doubt that these ruins are elven in nature. There must have once been some sort of elven outpost or some sort of marker here. You're not sure precisely what. However, as you guys continue moving, you eventually move a little bit deeper into the forest. And let's just change the map there.
I feel more at home already.
As you start moving into the forest, I'm assuming that you're going to have at intervals your scout William sort of moving a little bit ahead. So I'm going to put William on the map to show where you guys are coming from.
Okay.
As you sort of move into the trees, you'd obviously had to leave the wagon a little way behind because you can't move through this dense vegetation. As you peer through the trees, having scouted ahead, William, you can see what appears to be a large stone statue of an incredibly beautiful looking figure. It's obviously an elf due to the pointed ears, and it's holding out a sword in front of it, pointing into the distance. Around the base of it, you can see the remnants of a makeshift camp and a number of Royalist guards. As you're watching William, you can also see that they appear to be guarding a young woman wearing quite sort of fanciful clothing. She has tanned skin. It's extremely beautiful, and you can see that her hands and feet are bound, and one of these guards has a pistol sort of on hand to point at her if necessary. And as you see that, and obviously you can let your friends know that you've seen that, that is where we are going to end the session for this evening. Okay. Congratulations, guys. You've managed to rescue Audran from the clutches of the Royalists, so we're going to burn him as a witch. You've managed to not die, any of you, which is quite handy.
Yeah. That was close.
Indeed.
Two and a half kills for me.
Indeed. You also have a injured Royalist by the name of Liam Gainsborough with you, you've taken all measures to disarm him, tie him up, etc., so he can't be a threat to you. However, he's still with you. You still have him as a potential resource if you need to. You've got the cart with 4 horses on, and you've managed to find this outpost where the Royalists are holding Salazaar's daughter. They appear to have made camp around some sort of elven way marker or something similar. You're not entirely sure what it is, but that is where we're going to draw a close to the game for this evening. So obviously I'll sort out XP, etc. I'm going to give you all 150 XP for the session.
Yay!
And making my way.
I'm quite
just
willing.
1,015 more. Yay!
Please.
I'm the first of leveling up.
Guys, please, come on.
And I'm quite willing to chat for a bit afterwards, but I'm going to end the recording now.